Canada just gets weirder and weirder by the day. It's actually cheaper for Canadians to fly all the way to Europe to see a Taylor Swift concert than it is to go to see one in Toronto. If you live in Toronto, it's just the reality of Canada, folks. You got a student that passes out at a press conference that Justin Trudeau is giving. They have to pause a press conference, and Justin Trudeau goes into savior and hero mode. You have our Canadian government and intelligence corporation, our intelligence group, our Canadian FBI, CSIS, that is warning Canadians of not using Canadian TikTok because of foreign election interference and a couple of other updates. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage everyone to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel, as well as turning on post notifications, adds a layer of insurance so you can actually be notified of upcoming videos. And if you want a matching sticker like the one here on my microphone, Wacko Trudeau Has to Go, you can find the link for this down in the description or the pinned comment below. They are coming off the shelves this weekend, folks. Limited edition for a limited time only, as promised. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So the polls are still sitting quite favorably. You have 220 seats projected for the Conservatives. They need 172. Bottom line of 191. Top end at 237. I still am standing by my projection that you will see the Conservatives slowly climb closer to 230. I don't know if they're going to hit it, but I'd certainly like to see that. And obviously 99% odds of winning the most seats, 99% odds of winning a majority government. So everything is looking copacetic right there. What's not looking copacetic is this update right here. Canadian fans are tallying up the cost of a flight, hotel, and ticket, and are finding out that traveling to Europe to see Taylor Swift at a concert would be cheaper than seeing the show in Toronto. That is, there's like some weird stuff going on with Taylor Swift's concerts. I'm not totally in the mix. I don't personally I don't go out of my way to go see Taylor Swift, nor have I really been. I don't think I've ever been to a Taylor Swift concert, and I don't really listen to her music. But somehow she's gained popularity in North America to be probably one of the most popular people, or singers at least, in North America. And her tickets are very controversial because they're super duper expensive, especially here in Canada. No one really knows why. And speaking of super duper expensive, you have Trudeau here, who quite literally has said this. This is wild, folks. This is not out of context, not edited. This is what he said.
We've seen far too many people who are among the wealthiest do extremely well through every crisis that we've hit, whether it's been inflation, whether
far too many people have done extremely well, whether it's inflation or whether it's something else that's happened where the economy has tanked. Justin Trudeau is after people's capital gains. If you are a bit of an older person and you've done well for yourself, Justin Trudeau is coming for your money because he doesn't want people to claw their way into some form of wealth, or maybe I even say some sort of generational wealth. He doesn't want that at all. And here you have a reporter asking him about the proposed capital gains tax change. We are asking those who have done really well over the past few years to pay a little bit more and to make a little bit less. That's kind of a weird strategy. And the comments are not in Justin Trudeau's favor. You're not asking, you're forcing. Yeah, can't wait till we vote out of this. Yeah, it's kind of a weird place right now in Canada.
You released a video this past week about your capital gains changes, but we have yet to see the legislation. Do you plan to make any changes, and will it be tabled next week?
We have announced very, very clearly that we believe that this country needs a little more fairness for every generation. We've seen far too many people who are among the wealthiest do extremely well through every crisis that we've hit, whether it's been inflation, whether it's been the pandemic, whether it's been the impacts of climate change, while middle-class Canadians and vulnerable Canadians struggle more and more. That's why we made the decision to ask the wealthiest, those who have capital, to pay a little bit more by raising the capital gains inclusion tax rate from 1/2 to 2/3. It'll come into effect on the 25th of June, and it means close to $20 billion more to invest in housing, to invest in things like a school food program, to invest in more places in childcare, to give every generation that opportunity to succeed. So yes, we are asking those who've done really well over the past few years to pay a little bit more, to make a little bit less in terms of the profits they're making off of their capital, off of the properties, off of the assets they own, because it's about fairness. So we continue to share the details on that, but we're going to make sure that everyone is paying their fair share and that everyone has a real and fair chance to succeed.
What a load of crap, man, to force people to pay more money because they've done well. Like, it's just, Canada is just living in it's a horrible country. It's turning into a horrible country. The land is fantastic. The people, for the most part, are amazing, but our leadership, our policies don't make any sense. And you don't have to take my word. You can take a doctor's word. So it's just Dr. Jordan Peterson. He's got this to say on a recent podcast appearance.
Like when you talk about your friend Trudeau.
Well, that Canada's in the state you get in when you elect Peter Pan to be your leader. He's I think he's an incompetent narcissist. I think every single word that Justin Trudeau says is a lie. I think every single gesture he makes is a lie. It's all performative. He was a drama teacher, part-time drama teacher. He was completely and utterly unqualified for the job. And he could have taken it and thought, well, I'm an idiot, but, you know, I have a name and I could buckle down and learn. I could apprentice myself. I could surround myself with great people and I could grow into the job. But that isn't what he did. As soon as he got elected, he picked a cabinet that was half women, even though 25% of the elected officials were women. It's like, well, you didn't pick the best people then, buddy. It's 2015. It's time for half of the people to be women. That's the level of thinking he's capable of. And he's scuttled the Canadian economy. We're about as productive now as Mississippi. Right, we were at parity 10 years ago with the U.S. Our housing is twice as expensive. We have far more immigrants entering the country than you do with your open southern border, right? We're slated to have the worst performing economy in the developing world for the next 30 years. He's scuttling the energy industry. He refused to deliver natural gas to the Germans and to the Japanese when they came cap in hand asking, and turned all that money over to the Middle Eastern tyrants and the Russians. Right. What else? He's produced the most totalitarian legislation that Canada has ever seen. He scuttled the Constitution. He stole Canadians' bank accounts during the trucker convoy and acted unconstitutionally, which the courts have already decided. His energy minister, Stephen Guilbeault, is a delusional, nature-worshipping activist and has been since he was 5 years old. He's at war with Alberta, which has like the third largest oil reserves in the world. Saskatchewan has the largest uranium reserves. Canada could be insanely wealthy if we weren't childish beyond belief.
So is public opinion turning on Trudeau?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's in all likelihood, he'll be scuttled. His party will be scuttled in the next election, next October. But he'll hang on till October 25th because he's made a devil's deal with Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the Socialists, a man too stupid to even negotiate for a cabinet position despite having formed essentially a coalition, which is also unheard of in the Canadian political tradition. There's never been a coalition like this. And anybody with any sense who forms a coalition as a minority party leader gets a seat at the table. But Singh, he's a Rolex wearing, what would you say, tailored suit socialist. You know, I don't know what sort of creature that is.
There you have it, folks. So it's not just a conspiracy. It's actually real, right? Jagmeet Singh is a sellout. Canada is one of the richest countries, has the opportunity to be one of the richest countries in the world. But unfortunately, we are doomed right now, currently, with horrible, horrible leadership that's locked us into this horrible time in Canadian history. But I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Next up, we have a student who unexpectedly collapses to the floor during a Justin Trudeau press conference.
And it's so great to work with such a positive, progressive government here in Manitoba. We can get great things done as we work together. Oh, we're just going to take a little break right now while we take care of this young person.
There you go. So we'll do that one more time. You couldn't see because my screen cut it off here, but there you go.
And it's so great to work with such
On the right-hand side.
progressive government here in Manitoba. We can get great things done as we work together. Oh, we're just going to take a little break right now while we take care of this young person.
Hope this person's okay.
All right, Andrew Thompson back with you. As you can see, the Prime Minister pausing his remarks at this news conference in Winnipeg, saying he needs to assist a student who has gone down to the ground. And it looks like the Prime Minister and the other officials taking part in this news conference are now trying to provide some assistance, getting a chair for a student who had gone down to the ground. So there has been a delay in this news conference.
And we don't know what the cause of this was. As you can see here, we'll just take a quick glance at the comments. Justin Trudeau causes things to collapse. First the economy and now kids. Another comment is, you may not like our Prime Minister, but his response to these types of things, this isn't the first time, are actually quite classy. And the response to that is, wouldn't surprise me if the whole thing was staged to give him the humanitarian look. Not saying it was, just saying that that's how desperate the Liberal Party is right now. Other people saying it had something to do with you know what. So I don't know. I hope this person's okay. Obviously, it's a student. I'd like to know how you guys feel about this. Is this a good look for Trudeau and his rapid response? I mean, obviously, it's unfortunate. It doesn't matter what political side you're on. If somebody passes out, especially a student, it should be taken quite seriously, and hopefully they can, do some form of investigation to figure out what happened there. But I do hope that person is okay, obviously. Next up, we do have a clip here from Harrison Faulkner, works for True North. It says PEI Premier Dennis King is refusing to allow the influx of low-skilled international students to stay and work in PEI. He's not letting them win. Let's take a look here. For those who don't know, before I click play, there is a massive amount of international students on the East Coast, and now it's spread to Winnipeg and probably other parts of the country as of today, that are protesting. International students, I think the majority of them have come from India, and they haven't been able to get a permanent residency in time for their student visa or their work visa, whatever it is, to expire. And they are supposed to go back quite soon. And they're protesting, saying it's not fair. We want permanent residency. We like it here. You should give it to us. And so that's kind of the situation with what's going on with these international students. And the premier is just not having it, apparently.
What do you mean? Their big frustration seems to be, look, this province kind of lured us in here with they set it up so that it was easy for them to get PR through.
Attitude to take. I don't think anyone lured them here. Certainly the province didn't.
You created a system where it was easy for them to come here and ultimately get their PR working in the sales and service industry, which is what brought them here.
Yeah, but I think if you look across the country, other jurisdictions have stopped doing this completely or have followed the lead that we've had and have ratcheted back that certain sectors. I say last year in Prince Edward Island, we nominated 855 people for a PR through sales and service. The year before that, we did roughly the same amount, just a little bit less. If the industry is doing a relatively good job in terms of retention, that should be a significant number to augment their labor force and to make sure their business is running and being successful. My job as the leader of the province is to try to sustainably grow our province through immigration and putting our emphasis on the areas of focus. So that's what I'm doing. I think it's a very open place. Look around. There are people who are here who are in the wonderful place of PEI, and they have the freedom to have posters and protest, and that's an absolutely wonderful thing. But my job is to do the best that I can for the province as a whole. That's what our policy framework is leading to. That's what we announced in February, and that's the road that we're on right now.
I know Minister Redmond told the foreign workers that if your work permit expires in 2024, reach out to our office. What can your office, what can the government do for them, though?
Well, first of all, the federal government would be the one who would extend someone's work permit. That wouldn't be anything the province would do. So that is something that they would need to work on from their perspective. What the province does is go through a process to nominate individuals to get them on their pathway to their PR.
So what's your message to them? I mean, if their work permit expires in a few months and they were counting on ultimately getting PR here, what's your message to them? What should they do?
Well, number one, everyone who comes to PEI in search of a PR doesn't get nominated. So you can come here and go through the process, but many people, countless hundreds have come here, have not been nominated in the past, and I expect that will continue in the future.
Yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think down below in the comments. This seems to be highly controversial among international students, but there's a lot of pushback, obviously, by Canadians saying, "Well, you didn't get it in time, so what are you complaining about?" But let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Next up, we have the warning from CSIS and Justin Trudeau himself that they should stay away from TikTok, and Canada is apparently trying to ban it because of election interference or the possibility of it.
CSIS Director David Vignon is warning Canadians against using TikTok in light of his comments and what he knows about how it operates. Do you think TikTok is safe for Canadians, and do you see a role for government in regulating TikTok?
Well, obviously, as a government, we lean heavily on CSIS and our intelligence agencies to keep Canadians safe. And when the director of CSIS is pointing out that TikTok poses a real threat to the data security of Canadians, I think Canadians need to listen. Obviously, we already took measures as a government to ensure that all federal computers and phones do not have the TikTok app applied to them. That's a risk that we don't want for our government, but I know more organizations and orders of governments are looking at that very seriously as well. We need to continue to have a conversation with Canadians about how they remain safe online. Yes, there's a role for government, and we'll continue to consult and work with Canadians on that. It's important that we empower Canadians to make smarter choices about keeping themselves and their families safe online. That's one of the reasons why we're moving forward with an Online Harms Act focused on keeping kids safe and making sure that our online world is as safe or even safer than our in real life world.
So the danger about that is this has been broken down by Dr. Jordan Peterson and many other professionals. It's not just about protecting kids online. It's about there's a hidden hate speech or hate crime legislation in there that can basically go back like 20 years or since the dawn of the internet, and it can take anything that anyone has ever said and make them be accountable in today's world, which is unlike any law that you have ever seen ever. It's absolutely insane. And the terms for everything, the parameters are so broad that it's all in the House's favor, in the government's favor. And it just seems like Canada is really falling victim to this totalitarian dictatorship. And if you're concerned, you have every reason and every right to be concerned, because it's scary, folks. It's absolutely scary. And you got people that have actually fled from communist countries that are saying, oh yeah, this is what communism looks like in the initial steps. So pretty scary stuff. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. That's where we're going to end today's video. Let me know what you guys think about any of the stories down below. On your way out, I would like to encourage you guys one last time to smash the like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe if you are not already subscribed. And I'd really hope that you consider turning post notifications on so you can stay notified of upcoming videos. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.